Shall I play the music?
Yeah, why not?
Oops. Oh God, what have I done? Sorry.
Oh my God.
I've now heard that little extra bit so many times that my brain now thinks it's part of the intro.
Oh, maybe we should make it.
Ooh, we could lengthen it a bit. Have a 10-second intro.
You're the master of the music.
We may have to start paying royalties.
That's true.
Once we get all the mad ad income.
The Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Well, much like Interview with the Vampire, I was obsessed with this film as a teenager. Like, obsessed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Every time I saw it on the telly, I'd put it on, I'd watch it, loved it. Loved it so much, thought it was epic, a masterpiece of a film. I haven't seen it in quite some years. And let me tell you, it does not hold up.
Oh, no.
What? I loved it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you actually?
Great.
I mean, I still thought it was great. I just thought it was a bit ridiculous. It was like really, really camp, which I don't remember.
Just so good, though.
I can't see what's camp about a man descending in a balloon with fireworks behind him and 4 acrobats jumping down, pulling it to the ground.
Sounds legit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I
sure.
loved it as well, by the way.
Fernando?
Wow, that's really unexpected.
Yeah, I feel that should have been the way in which I arrived at the School of Mathematics. I should have arrived at the School of Mathematics in that way every day.
Fernando, every time you arrive anywhere, that's what it feels like to us.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing, though.
It is.
And then you very quietly spoke and just say, greetings. Where no one could possibly hear you.
Laura, are you messing around with your microphone again?
No, I'm not touching anything.
Or someone's making scratching sounds?
I can hear it.
Is it me? I'm sorry, I was laughing too loudly, maybe.
Oh, maybe. Oh, not to worry. So, Laura, what went wrong? Why did this not measure up for you?
Oh, I wouldn't say anything went wrong, but picture this film in my head as like the most perfectly crafted, just epic tale of revenge and blah. Oh, just, almost nothing could beat it. And then watching it again and realizing, this might actually be quite a silly film.
Yeah.
It's not quite as serious or as epic as I remember. First of all, I thought it was an hour longer than it was. So that it was only 2 hours, and I was like, well, this is over very quickly. Anyway, there was a lot of weird, cheesy one-liners that I don't remember.
What kind of cheesy one-liners?
I'm a count, not a saint.
Yeah, okay.
That was deep, though. That was I'm a priest, not a saint. That was a throwback.
He was echoing the guy from years ago. Yeah,
that was him learning from the priest. That was a beautiful moment.
I suppose. His little manservant man being like, "I go to Paris, bam, 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 job's done. Take your money. There you go." I'm like,
I was really worried about him. I thought he was going to be proper super camp.
He was super camp.
No, he was not as bad as I was expecting, because the only other thing I've seen him in is anger management. So you can imagine my fear. I thought he was just the right level of camp.
Oh, good. That's nice. I mean, I still loved it. Like, it's still a great film. Yeah. So, why did you like it?
Claire, why don't you go first?
I just thought it was very entertaining, and it didn't try to be anything it wasn't. It was just, here's a story, here's the main character, here's why you like him. This is supposed to be his friend. He's a bit of a dick. Look at all the reasons he's a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
Um,
There's not going to be any plot reveals. We'll just get all the stuff out of the way in the beginning.
yeah.
Like, you won't have to wait until he gets out of prison to find out why he's gone to prison or who betrayed him or anything.
No,
We'll just clear all that up. Yep.
Absolutely. It was a very honest, straightforward film.
Yes. Yes, it was very straightforward.
Having said that, I'm going to object to straightforward. I take your point that it was they didn't hold any, they didn't have any amazing twists in there or anything, but they kind of did. Like, I did not see it going that way. When he was thrown into prison, I didn't think this man is going to dig up an enormous quantity of buried treasure and then become a count and sneak into everybody's lives to torture them for the rest of the film. So it definitely didn't entirely go the way I was expecting.
Okay.
I mean,
What did you think was going to happen?
It wasn't straightforward, though. Just because you didn't predict it. Like, it just didn't mess around, is more what I mean.
Yeah. No, good point. Yeah, it didn't mess around. I thought he was going to be as good as gold. I thought he was going to be the sort of diehard saint. When they first threw him in, he was saying all the stuff about God. I thought he was going to be like Jean Valjean, who was just going to be blameless for the rest of the thing. But he turned evil, which was definitely not what I was expecting. And I don't know if, like, was he still evil at the end?
I was wondering this as well. Did he really ever really see? I think he had a revelation that he didn't need to pursue his revenge quite so bloodthirstily, and he could be happy with Mercedes. You know, like and he decided not to kill him.
The last thing he did in the film was kill the guy, right?
Yeah, but he got his revenge, and then he was sort of content. Now he could forgive Mercedes because she just wanted, what was his name, Albert, to have a dad.
Yeah.
Well, she hadn't really betrayed him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she had to get
Makes
married,
sense.
I suppose. Yeah.
And so he was sort of done. He'd washed his hands of it. I think he was. Yeah, I think he had closure at the end. He was ready to live a life of virtue.
But I see what you mean. He did get everything he wanted out of his revenge. Like, he didn't really abandon it prematurely and come to some revelation that it was morally weird or anything. Like, he fully took that through to the end. And now gets to...
Yeah, it seemed like a deathbed conversion, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure he lived a long and happy life afterwards, but it's like, you've decided revenge is not a good thing after you have exacted this torturous revenge over like a decade and completely done everything.
Wait,
like,
that is normally what
decided-
happens, right? Listen, that is normally what happens in life. You can make mistakes, and then you realize afterwards that it was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose. I think it's like if you make the same mistake like on a daily basis for 20 years, and then you only stop making the mistake like immediately after after it becomes impossible to make the mistake anymore. It's hard to say that you've learned something. Would that be fair?
I think that would be fair.
I feel like he could still take revenge on something else, as in maybe some other thing will happen, and he'll say, "Oh, maybe I don't have to take revenge this time because I know it's wrong," or maybe I will and make the mistake again.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, we'd need a sequel to discover, wouldn't we? Sorry. So, Fernando, you said you liked this film.
Yes, I did like it. I also thought it was entertaining, and
What did you like about it?
Well, precisely. I think I agree with Claire that it was entertaining, and I thought I wished it could be longer. I wished it could be 24 hours of just counting. And it made me wonder several things. One of which was, do you think that Fernand would have still accepted? I forgot her name, if she had told him that she was pregnant and wanted to marry him anyway?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
I think he would have done.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I'm inclined to agree.
Exactly. So why did she hide it?
Good question.
I don't think she wanted to. She would have risked telling him because he would just have resented the child.
Yes, I think he would have resented the child.
Then maybe she could have found someone else. And it's not that she had to marry him. There are plenty of fish in the sea.
I think she had to get married within the month, though, so that she could pretend.
Well, you can meet some other men.
Otherwise, yes, maybe she would have had some luck with...
I think it was very easy because he was already very into her.
We're kind of back to our Casablanca debate, where you were very angry at the woman for picking someone that she did not love. But
and why does the old man have so many books in his cell?
Yeah, how did he get those books? The priest.
Maybe he made friends with the person who brought him food or something. Or because he was an old man and he'd been there for, so many years. I did wonder that as well. It doesn't make any sense.
Or maybe... Maybe he knew those books by heart and got some paper and wrote them and bound them.
Yes.
They were bound in rat leather.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yep.
I think that's what happened.
That makes sense. You all recognise the old man, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he was Dumbledore, right?
Yes. Phew,
what?
Thank goodness. It's
Early
Richard
Dumbledore.
Harris.
He was old, good Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, apparently there are 2 Dumbledores, right?
Yes.
This was the one that wasn't weird and Irish.
And angry.
And angry.
She read your hair, the fire.
But yeah, this was the only other thing I've seen him in. That's 3 films I've now seen him in, and the first 2 were Harry Potter. He was really good.
Yeah,
he's a good actor.
Had a bit more subtlety to him than perhaps some of the other performances. Which were also good.
Everyone played their part well, I think.
Yeah, they were pretty good, weren't they?
Especially Guy Pearce. I bloody love Guy Pearce.
Yeah, also.
Who's Guy Pearce?
He was the villain. He was Fernand.
Okay. Mandego.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's the only note I've got about him, is just prick.
I fancied him quite a lot as a teenager.
Yeah. He's a good looking
quite
lad.
Handsome man, right?
Yeah.
Step up from Spencer. Big step up. He's not quite Colin Firth, but he's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of you have said this now, and I think I'm with you. This should have been a longer film.
Yeah.
This had an epic in it that was dying to get out. Just a bit more breathing time to slow things down and really let us dwell in each of these places. It was a long-ish film. It was like 2 hours and 10 minutes. But if that had been 3 hours and 10 minutes, we could really have, we could have learned how the man got those books, and it would have been more of a... It wouldn't have been like a training montage. It would have been a real period of the film.
Yeah. I'd like to have seen more on Monte Cristo as well, of the puzzle that had been left for him.
Yeah, we just sort of rushed through that, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd have been good to see how things he'd learned had applied when he got to the island and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, this film would have made a good 90s point-and-click adventure game.
That's the exact note I've got.
You're joking.
It was like a Monkey Island puzzle.
Yeah. There was a lot of, you are trapped in this small room and there are 200 bricks and this one is sticking out slightly. But if you use it with use the stick with the feeding hatch and then use the string with the stick and that traps the rat and then you can cut the rat and you can use that to dig through the thing. Yeah. And then, God, a buried treasure on a secret island with a bit that looks like an elephant and all. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Love it.
Bloody Napoleon was there.
Oh
yeah.
I mean, that's nothing to do with the puzzle, but yeah, that was surprising to me. I didn't remember that at all.
Oh, really? I thought it was maybe going to be a film about Napoleon to start with, because I don't know about the rest of you, but I just knew nothing about this film.
I knew nothing. I knew it had sword fights.
I think I might have watched it when I was younger, because I think I recognized several of the scenes. But this might be just deceiving myself. I do not know. I think I've seen it before.
Okay.
I've seen it a million times, but turns out I remembered almost nothing about it.
And I'm just going to make the comparison because someone has to. This was a million times better than that stupid vampire film.
What?
What? No, it wasn't.
There are incomparable elements.
They're so on a par. They're so comparable. They both have the majesty of just that period feel. Oh.
One of them
camp.
There were comparisons to be made. I see what you mean. It was the sort of same era that the film was made, and it was the same sort of scope and the same sort of actors,
and the same sort of the same kind of greatness as well.
I disagree on that. Yeah, this just had. It was the unassuming. It wasn't, as Claire said, it wasn't trying to be anything that it wasn't. It was just a good old adventure with loads of brilliant stuff and loads of memorable characters and exciting swashbuckling, daring sword fights, duels in a field in France. Yeah, great. Napoleon, buried treasure. Yeah, this was what you wanted. I could have seen this film in the cinema and walked out a very happy man. And they don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah, they just don't make them like that.
They'd have had some bullshit subplot where, I don't know, one of them was tortured about feelings about their parents or something. I don't know, just something no one cares about, or they'd have had more explosions or whatever. I don't know.
Would have CGI'd the prison rat.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Rather than doing what you should do in a film, which is use an actual rat and actually kill it on camera.
I think some people might disagree with that.
Well, maybe.
I thought you could tell that it was an early noughties film, though. Like, there are elements of it I thought, ooh, this would... You know what, this might have been better if it was made in, like, the early 90s. Or the 60s. I don't know, just the way that, like, they transitioned some shots where they just overlapped the previous scene with the next scene and, like... And again, I've said this a million times, but it was just so camp.
Yeah, it could have done with a bit of what's the word? Gravitas, right?
Yeah, just in certain places, certain elements.
Again, epic film, kicking and screaming to get out. Yeah, drop some of the one-liners. Tone down a couple of the performances. Have a few more, slow scenes with people thinking about things. Could have been quite something.
Yeah.
It could have been so miserable though. Like that section in prison where he just like gets beaten every year, like just for no reason. Like you'd have to expand that as well, and that would be.
There was a reason. It was their anniversary.
Yes. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Oh, could have brought them just a nice cake or something.
That's what I'd have done.
Brought them a rat.
Yeah.
God, even he was pretty camp, wasn't he? The whip
Yes.
guy.
Yeah, he did have a bit of a...
Bit over the top. Dramatic.
Did he actually die?
Yes.
I don't think did we see him die?
Well, we see him being strangled by Monte Cristo, I think.
Oh, that was him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got pulled off the cliff.
Oh, I got a bit confused in that scene because I saw that one of the people had fallen off, but what I thought was that that our hero Edmond had snatched the keys from his belt and gone into the water. But no, he pulled him by the belt into the sea with him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
the keys
unlocked
came off
himself.
anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, because we already saw that guy had surfaced when Edmond later surfaced, like a minute later, and the guy was already out of the water, and climbing up the cliff. And then he went and dragged him off. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he killed all the horrible people.
Why do you think
got everyone.
that his girlfriend knew how to read and he did not know how to read? She received a letter where she was informed that he had been killed, and she read it. But then when he was asked whether he had read the letter that Napoleon gave him, he was like, "Oh, I do not know how to read." So,
yeah.
do you think she but he didn't?
We were given the impression that he was from a low social class, whereas Mondego was one of the upper class aristocracy, and I thought that his girlfriend was one of the upper class as well. But then Mondego later made some crack about her being a fishmonger's daughter or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder how she did learn to read. Because she's not allowed to go sailing. You've got to do something to pass the time.
I wonder if just women are born knowing how to read.
Yeah, well, I was, so...
Nice. Were you? Great.
Yeah. I assume you were as well, Claire, because...
Yeah, absolutely. It goes without saying.
Yeah.
Wow, the things you learn.
Yeah. I could also operate a loom from the age of 2.
Just something you just learn somehow.
Yep. Needlework, that comes into it.
Yep.
Wow, great. It took me hours to do needlework. Well, yeah, so again, that would be the kind of thing that would be interesting to know. Maybe we should just read the book.
I've got the book right in front of me. I started reading it last night. Thick? It is the size of a bloody 2 bricks on top of each other.
Uh-huh.
What size a brick?
Oh, standard size.
Half of the Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, okay.
That kind of size.
It's like if you took the DVD and you put 10 of them on top of each other.
Just the DVD.
No, God damn it! Let me think.
You're saying it's the width of 10 DVD boxes?
I mean, no, but it's a good like. Ooh, it's.
Can you tell us the number of pages?
I can't think of more objects to compare it to. It has 1,275 pages.
Whoa.
Okay. Big book.
Yeah.
So around 10 centimeters thick, I think. Or maybe less, around 7 maybe.
That's insane.
Bigger than that. It's like
How
a foot.
The paper?
It's pretty standard size paper again, like a standard size brick. It's real heavy though.
So you started reading it?
Weighs about, I'd say, a toaster.
A 4 slot or 2 slots?
3.
3 slot. Wow.
15 tennis balls.
sitting there like picking up objects. Like, oh yeah, it's about the coaster.
How hard is it to read?
It's really easy to read. It's mostly dialogue so far, to be honest.
Oh, great. So I was wondering whether this was a children's story.
So I also read the introduction by the translator, who said that it was very much, it appears like it is for adults, but it's meant to be quite a sensational, like a real adventure novel. It's not meant to be like, it wasn't taken as that deep. It was to be entertaining, like sensationalist adventure.
That's what it was.
Apparently George Eliot really didn't like it for that reason.
Okay.
It was a very silly book.
Very plot driven.
Very plot driven, yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's fine, isn't it?
We don't mind that.
Yeah. But it's a really good, I've read maybe 100 pages. It's very good so far. Would recommend.
I forgot about how fast you read. I wish I could read 100 pages in a night. That's great.
Oh, thanks. Quite different, though. Largely the same, but there's some different plot choices, which I think are quite interesting.
Oh.
Okay.
Also, he spends about a page describing Mercedes's legs, which was weird. She has a very shapely leg, apparently.
Mm.
Good legs, are they?
Yeah, good legs, good hands, good teeth.
Good teeth. Excellent. All the better to eat you with.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I've been learning French recently, and all the people online keep talking about how, I'm trying to learn French, and I want to be able to read Alexandre Dumas.
Ooh.
And I always thought that sounds so difficult, because I was thinking it was like Charles Dickens or something. But you're saying it's a bit of a page turner. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe one day. Maybe that should be my life goal. Like by the time I'm 60, I should read the whole of The Count of Monte Cristo in French.
Maybe the first step could be to read The Little Prince in French.
I am 4 chapters in. I'm reading it with Chiara.
Whoa.
Wow.
I know. And that's not too tough. Sorry, where were we? Is that 3 imposter films in a row?
What were the other ones?
Well, the last one was whatever we watched last.
Rashomon?
Spencer Confidential.
Oh, Spencer Confidential, yes.
But that had nothing to do with... What were we talking about? No, Ingrid Goes West.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Was about her blending in and sort of having this elaborate plan and manipulating people, just like The Count of Monte Cristo in this. I wondered if that was what reminded Laura to pick this film.
Perhaps subliminally, but
Okay.
I did just look down at my list, saw that, and thought, let's just make a rash decision, and we will stick to it for the first time ever. But yes, you're right. It probably did trigger something of I know a good bloody imposter film.
Yeah. I thought maybe that was a deliberate choice to pick something related, but no, okay. Because we were talking about that, there was another film we watched recently that had a similar imposter thing that we were comparing Ingrid Goes West to, but I can't remember what it was.
All About Eve.
Oh yeah,
All About Eve. Yeah. Oh, so not 3 in a row.
Huh.
But yeah, there's some comparison between. In fact, maybe All About Eve would be a good comparison. Although All About Eve, it was not that she wanted to hurt people, but just that she wanted to get to the top, didn't she? Whereas actually, Edmond had no desire to be at the top at all. He was completely uninterested in the love and adoration of everyone. He just wanted to torture these people.
Where did he send Villefort? The guy who tricked him into getting into the prison car, and then he later put him in the prison car. Because surely he didn't go to Chateau d'If.
I thought that. We never really found out what happened to him.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing I thought was really just silly, was having the gun there and just being like,
Oh, I thought that was dark. I thought that I don't think that was, yeah. I thought, like, the fact that he was actually going to do it as well, I thought, wow, this got serious. But no, you saw that as a bit...
I think because I was watching it with my sister and she like laughed out loud at that bit and I was like, oh God, you're right.
Oh.
Like, just what a dick Edmund.
Incredibly cruel.
Yeah.
I thought, because that was a thing, I think. I seem to have been reading a lot of books about the French prison system lately. And yeah, that was like the honourable way out. You'd have a gun with one bullet sort of thing.
Right.
Wow.
But yeah, it was just like an extra bit of cruelty.
Yeah, like an utter scoundrel. He didn't put a bullet in there.
Did he send him to a state prison?
Well, he had been caught in the act of crime, right?
Yes, and the authorities were happy for him to stage the arrest like that.
The authorities were there.
So.
Yeah.
Powerful man.
Probably bribed them, yeah.
Oh yeah, they were in the bathhouse, weren't they?
Yeah. Just like, oh, come along. I'll get this guy to admit to murder. Then you can arrest him.
Yeah, I suppose paying off a few of them, or just being the fabulous, wealthy man that does all this stuff can... he's got a lot of strings he can pull, right? So one thing I was thinking while I was watching it was he's got all this wealth and he's just using it for revenge.
Mm-hmm.
What should he have done with that? What would you do if you were unbelievably wealthy, like the richest person in the world? What would you do with all that money in order to do good with it?
Put it in the stock market.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with him on the revenge thing. So I'd have my revenge first.
We got your list.
I don't think it's more elaborate.
Written in your own blood.
Yeah, if anything, he could have been more elaborate with it.
Good stuff.
Am I in this scenario? Am I in early 1800s France?
Yes.
Right.
Always.
Oh, I might build a little house on Monte Cristo because those were crystal blue waters.
Mm-hmm.
Looked nice, didn't it?
Yeah.
Looked like no sources of food or water.
Maybe you'd help Napoleon to restart the revolution.
Yeah, so this was another thing that I bet they do a little better in the book. We kind of lost the what's going on in the world bit, right? Because Napoleon did come back, and we think Napoleon came back like as he was getting put into prison. But I think Napoleon only came back for a year or so before he was finally defeated, and then they did away with it all over again. So but we didn't quite get that political side to it, which is maybe a shame. And again, it's the first thing that you would cut if you need to condense it down to 2 and a bit hours.
Yeah.
But I'd have loved 4 hours maybe.
Oh.
I think
a proper epic.
His lack of lack of education, maybe meant that he didn't know or care about Napoleon and politics, and so that didn't make it into the story.
Okay. Yeah, he knew no more than we did. Yeah. Still, I mean, he'd get out and he would discover whether Napoleon was the Emperor of France
You
anymore.
didn't care when you went in. Why would you find out afterwards?
I guess it's one of the first things you'd learn, right? Whether he cares or not. That's kind of relevant, isn't it? Not least because it establishes who all these people in the establishment are. I don't know.
What would you do with the money?
I was trying to think about it, and I was thinking like possibly be one of these. I think the people who were nearest this situation were probably people like John Cadbury and the guy who ran the New Lanark Mill, whatever his name was, basically sort of set up industry, building like towns and proper places where people could actually have a decent quality of life, and kind of, like investing it in something that would like establish an equitable system where everybody could have a decent life. And if we're doing the whole time travel thing where I know what I know now, then there would be factories making soap, because it turns out that's the main way that we can stop people from dying of cholera and stuff. But yeah, I feel like from the incredible amount of wealth that he seems to have, which is like buying several giant country estates and not even making a dent in his money.
Yeah.
It seemed like he could have bought like half the industry in France, and if he ran it to break even, he could have lifted like the whole population of the country and even more out of poverty if he'd done it properly.
Oh, yeah.
We're back to Les Mis, aren't we? That's what Jean Valjean did.
Oh yeah, in fact, yeah, that's exactly what Jean Valjean did, right? He bought a factory of some kind and ran it better than all of the other ones did. Yeah. Did his best to see that all of his workers were looked after, but ran it for to break even so he could keep it going as long as possible.
So you'd just be Valjean to the power of 11.
Yeah, Valjean with like not just the money of like 2 silver candlesticks and a couple of plates, but sort of all the money that the whole Catholic Church had or something. That was a bit unbelievable, the amount of wealth that was supposed to be hidden in this one place, but still pretty cool.
And I also wondered like why he didn't share it with well, I can't remember his name, but Louis Guzman, his manservant. He was just like, well, this is mine. Oh, yeah. You can work for me if you want.
Jacopo or something.
Jacopo, yeah.
Well, the guy had sworn and seemed to take that oath quite seriously. He just said, "I'm your man." I suppose if he really was planning to stick with him forever, then it didn't really matter.
Yeah,
it was a funny one.
His manservant sucks a bit.
I suppose so. But, he seemed to see that as his duty, right? As a privilege. I suppose once he'd seen how amazing this man was, it would make sense. But yeah, I feel like I would, after the first 15 years, I'd maybe want to take my share of the money and start a little farm somewhere and get married and just actually have a life that's not just getting into adventures with this guy. But I suppose, they had a powerful bond of friendship.
Yeah.
So did anyone else feel like at the end when they're in the little house and what's his knob? The horrible one.
Mondego.
Yeah, Mondego, he goes and finds the chests of dirt. It felt very like the end of a play. Do you know when like everyone comes in tragedy. One person at a time? It's like, oh, there's a scene with 2 people. Oh, and then the sun appears so that they can all bow at the end. And I felt that was really staged. That really.
Yeah, I felt like that, and I thought maybe all of them were going to die or something. It felt very constructed, didn't it? Then the big reveal happens, and they all learn what they all didn't know as the film had been going on. And
then Columbo went out, but just as he got to the door, he said one other thing.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Cool.
If you had to divide it up into acts.
Ooh.
I mean, Act 1, obviously, like pre-prison. because prison's got to be Act 2. Or maybe that's all in Act 1.
I think that's all Act 1.
That's all Act 1, yes, you're right. Yeah.
Well, if you want the classic beginning, middle, and end,
yeah,
then I guess prison is the beginning, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And probably his rise to power would be Act 2.
Yeah.
And then once he's established himself in everyone's lives, the payoff would be Act 3.
Mm.
Maybe?
I wonder if maybe Act 2 would include a bit of the revenge, and then when he finally gets back together with Mercedes and realises that actually the most important thing is for them to build their lives together, and he can sort of give up on his revenge.
Yeah, probably where they start snogging and have sex is the beginning of Act 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Or end of Act 2, yeah.
Yeah, that's the defining change. And then she wakes up and reveals herself to Mondego, which has seemed very risky.
Yeah, he let that
really
go easily.
Expecting him just to kill her on the spot or something. Question: who wrote the Three Musketeers?
Was that not? I think that was Dumas as well.
I think so.
Yeah, okay. Because I saw a film of that, and it was all over the place. It wasn't a very good film, but I think there might have been a good story in there somewhere. Again, with this sort of 2 or 3 core people and some villain that they're all out for revenge against him, and there's a woman that's in love with 2 of them, and there's a weird political backdrop with all this stuff going on.
That should be right up my alley, because it's, again, like a swashbuckling adventure.
Say again?
But I really hate... It should be up my alley, because I do love a swashbuckling adventure. But I saw the version with John Malkovich, and I really, really hate John Malkovich for some reason.
Okay.
Except in Johnny English.
Okay. Who was he in Johnny English?
He was the villain.
Pascal Sauvage.
That's the one. Yeah, he was great as Pascal Sauvage.
He was very camp again. Yeah, okay, so I saw the Gene Kelly version from the 40s, and that left much to be desired.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes, it did.
I think Claire very sensibly went to bed at some point.
Oh, sorry. Has anyone seen The Man in the Iron Mask?
Yes.
No. Fernando, you've seen it.
Yes, I've seen it. I do like it.
Claire,
no,
for some reason, I always lump it in with the... Go on.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's what I was thinking, that it's in the same category in my head.
Yeah, me too.
But I can't remember who wrote it.
Anyway, nothing else to say. Good film.
Yep, I liked it.
The Man in the Iron Mask.
Oh, sorry.
What?
I got disconnected for a second. I'm back now. The Man in the Iron Mask, that was Dumas as well, right?
I don't know if it was Dumas.
Was it? Oh, yes, it was. I'm looking up now. It was him, indeed.
What?
It turns out I really like Dumas.
He wrote everything.
Oh, right.
He probably wrote the Bible
Gosh,
as well.
he did write it. He was busy. Probably. Oh, that's got John Malkovich as well. Did I like him in that then? I'm very confused by my own. Oh, one of them was evil. We should watch The Man in the Iron Mask.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm just looking at my notes here. I don't think I've got anything else to say.
The only other...
No, I think I've covered everything. I also... Oh, no, go on. Sorry.
Oh, no, go for it.
My mum's just shouted that my tea's ready, so...
Nice.
Well.
Yep.
Well, you better
didn't ask for it, but... But I have in fact moved home, so that is something that just happens now at random times of the day. I am summoned to meals.
It's quite early. I suppose it's...
Sorry, Claire, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that did we think killing Prickface was revenge, or was that an act of like kindness? Because he wanted to make him suffer, and it would have killed Fernand, not literally, to see Edmund like with his family and happy, and his family happy with Edmund. So was he actually doing him a favour by killing him? Was my question. That had at the end.
No, I don't think it was kindness, but I think it was more like either just self-defense or convenience of, God, this guy's never going to let this go. I'd like to have my happy life without any of this hangover.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't know, maybe. Yeah.
Cool.
It probably was the kind of thing, maybe.
I think he did a lot of slaughtering Mondego, right? I think the job was done by that point.
Yeah, it really ruined him. In every way. I mean, just well done. Classic revenge. Just took everything away from him. But he was a dick, so...
He was pretty bad.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You better go and have your tea. It'll be getting cold.
I know. I better go and have my tea. Well, this is more important, though. Does anyone have anything else to say?
Not me.
No.
Fernando?
It was a good film. Thank you for recommending it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, that too.
Very surprising. I thought you'd all hate it.
Absolutely loved it. Film for next.
I'm playing the music now.
Hate it.
You especially, Michael. I thought, God, this is going to be a 2-star film for Michael.
And yet you picked it anyway. It's like the bloody last one you picked. Thought we were all going to hate it.
I did. It was just when I was watching it, I thought this might not be everyone's cup of tea, but you enjoyed it, so I am glad. Tea. Right, here we go. Present play.
I
10 seconds.
I simply cannot believe that we ended this meeting without ever discussing symbolism, but that's fine.
Oh no!
Thank God.
That was fun.
And there was so much symbolism, probably. Maybe.